Good morning and welcome to Williams Dog Training Company. We're here today with Fred and Shadow, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is Shadow's ability to understand and respond to his obedience commands, the corrections and motivations that we give while we're working with him, and the training equipment that we're using. Fred is using a regular 6-foot leash, and he's going to keep the bulk of that leash folded neatly in his right hand, leaving his left hand free to give the correction. And the correction that we give is a tug and release on the training collar, which is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Shadow has been fitted with his own personal training collar, and we will be sure to show you how to properly put that collar on and use it during your one-on-one lesson. Now, as you can see, Shadow is sitting very nicely on Fred's left-hand side, which is where all of our obedience training takes place. The first command that they're going to go ahead and demonstrate for you is heeling, and heeling is proper walking on a leash. Fred and Shadow take off doing that now, and the command that you're going to give is Shadow heel, and you're going to simply start walking, and Shadow should fall in line nicely, heeling appropriately right at your left heel position, meaning he should not be lagging behind so that you have to pull him on the leash, nor should he be lunging ahead and pulling you on the leash. Also incorporated into the heeling exercise is an automatic sit, which you just saw occur, so anytime that you're out walking with Shadow and you stop, he should sit nicely again at your left heel position. Fred stops and he sits very nicely done. The next command that they're going to demonstrate for you is the stay command, and the stay command is a hand and a voice command. You're going to use the open flat of your left palm an inch or so in front of his muzzle and the one-word command to stay, and then walk out to the end of your training leash. Now, Shadow must remain seated in this position throughout the entire command. This is a great command to practice frequently throughout your day to help build up Shadow's ability to sit and stay for longer periods of time. When you're practicing at home, you want to start at 1 minute, and you'll slowly increase your timer increments up over time to 3 minutes. And Fred's going to return back now, walking all the way around him, counterclockwise, returning back to heel position. Great job, Shadow. Fred gives him a little pet on the head there. It's important to make sure that when you are working Shadow through his commands and he's completing them appropriately, you let him know by giving him either physically petting him or giving him verbal praise. It will keep him motivated to work through his commands. They're going to demonstrate the stay command again. Open flat of your left palm in front of his muzzle, the command to stay out to the end of the leash. Give him a few seconds to sit there to build up his time to stay. And now they're going to demonstrate the recall or the come command. You're going to use Shadow's name to call him in.
Shadow, come. Good boy.
When he comes in, he should sit nicely in front of you. Fred gave him a slight tug and release there just to remind him to sit more fast next time. And heel him around the back of you, returning to your left-hand side where he should sit nicely, waiting for his next command, and they're going to demonstrate that again. And you can see Shadow's doing a great job remaining seated and stayed, even though there's another dog in the back room there that could be a little distracting to him. He's doing a great job.
Shadow,
Fred calls him in. He comes right on in. You can use that leash to reel him in directly in front of you if need be. Again, make sure he sits. Good job.
Shadow heel.
It is important that when you first get Shadow back home during the transition, that you are practicing your commands daily. You also want to make sure that although you're practicing them throughout the day, you set aside about a 10 to 15 minute session to practice your commands in a formal obedience session such as this one here. Put your video on and follow along. You also want to make sure you're practicing your commands both indoors as well as outdoors, so you're generalizing them. And at first you want to pick an area with no distractions, and then throughout your training sessions, when you start to feel more comfortable working him through his commands, you can slowly start to incorporate your amount of distractions. Now, the next commands that we're going to demonstrate are our down commands, and the first is down from a heel position. Again, use the open flat of your left palm, but this time straight down towards the ground, and the one-word command to down. Then give the stay command and walk out to the end of your leash. Now with the long down stay, he should remain laying down in this position throughout the entire command. Again, another great command to practice frequently throughout your day to help build up Shadow's ability to down and stay for longer periods of time. And when you are practicing at home, you start at 3 minutes and you slowly increase your time intervals up to 5 minutes. Fred's going to go ahead and return back, walking all the way around and behind. Again, it's just an added distraction. Good job.
Shadow heel.
And I will demonstrate that again for you. Take note of how much leash Fred is holding on to and not giving him much of a leash. You want to make sure you keep a short grip on that leash, just enough to give the tug and release.
Stay.
So Fred's going to leave him in a down stay, and then he will demonstrate the come command again for you from the down position.
Shadow, come. Good boy.
Good job.
Shadow.
We do have one last command to demonstrate for you, and that's the down from a distance. For this command, you're going to leave him in a sit stay. Walk out to the end of your training leash.
No.
Now he broke the sit command,
Stay.
so Fred gave him a firm no, went back and put him in a sit stay again. It's important to follow through and be consistent. Now from the end of the leash, use your right hand to give the down command. Good job. If he breaks command, first word out of your mouth is no, followed by a repeat of the command. If he still doesn't follow through, then you would provide a correction. And again, we will go over all that with you during your one-on-one lesson. We've demonstrated for you today. Oh, Fred's going to demonstrate down for you. Oh. Fred's going to demonstrate how towards the end of Shadow's time here at school, we have built up the ability to drop the leash and increase our distance during our down stay. This is something that you can do over time, but at first you want to make sure that you're incorporating both your leash and your collar in your training session. And this is something that you can build up to with Shadow over time. Good job. We've demonstrated for you today all the obedience commands that Shadow has learned here at school. It's been a pleasure working with Shadow, and we thank you again for choosing Williams Dog Training Company as your personal dog trainer.